Good evening, I'm Brendan Miller. We begin tonight with the reconstruction of the Centennial Botanical Conservatory. It's now more than halfway complete. The total price tag for the project is over $11 million. The second and larger phase is really starting to take shape. TBT News recently got a sneak peek inside the facility. The Centennial Botanical Conservatory first opened in 1967 and holds a special place in the hearts of many Thunder Bay residents. This is the first major overhaul of the glass-covered facility, and it took many years to finally make it happen. The project began in late fall of 2020. The first phase of the overhaul meant tearing down the half-century-old greenhouses, then rebuilding new ones. City landscape architect Guy Walter says progress is going smoothly and mostly at budget.
So the initial budget for phase one, which we came in under budget, was $4.2 million. And for phase two, which also includes a bit of phase three, is an additional $7.2 million.
Walter highly credits the conservatory staff for the work they've done to keep the plants alive and well during the rebuild. Considering the climate and the difficulties that come with it, his overall takeaway is one of learning.
I rely on the professional staff we have here, horticulture specialists, who really maintain and keep this alive. It's a real challenge when you're ripping down, an enclosure for tropical plants in our climate. So it's been a real challenge, but actually, exciting learning kind of process.
As a part of our tour, Walter went over numerous different types of plants at the conservatory. He says some of these plants are basically priceless because of their maturity and species.
In the main tropical house, we've got some fig trees, we've got palm trees, we've got a ton of plants. We've got, I think, a total of 240 different species in here. And also in the cacti and succulent wing, which is the west wing, we've probably got another 70 different species in there. And we've got some fairly rare, quite wealthy, or not wealthy, valuable plants in there, which we've protected and preserved.
Making this new facility even better is that the technology has caught up. They've installed a fully automated system to keep the plants healthy, plus some other cool features in tandem.
With the environmental controls, we've got ridge vents, side louvers, humidity controls, lighting. All of these are controlled by the brain, which is our system that also controls the greenhouses, the grow houses. And with that, also we have lighting displays that are fully controlled by the team here.
3 years into the rebuild, and it's getting closer to completion. Walter says they plan on hosting a grand reopening in about 1 year's time. As we come to the end of 2024, it's a time for everyone to reflect on the past year. That includes our local politicians who spoke to us about their political highlights over the past 12 months.
Oh, I would think it was easily exceeding our housing target and being recognized by the province with big lumps of cash and the feds for the same. So the fact that we're doing so well on the growth in the city, I think is making lots of people happier throughout the city.
I think the biggest thing that I've been able to see happen here in Thunder Bay, and I've been that instrument in bringing the message down to Toronto, Queen's Park with regards to what the needs are, but I don't do it alone. It's in collaboration with all the organizations and agencies that I've really took the time to meet with, talk with, hold those roundtables so that we can really pull out what it is that we need to do to advance the interests of Thunder Bay, not just to address some of the challenges we have, but also make sure we're capitalizing on the opportunities.
Nebing, South Gillies, Conmee, O'Connor Township. People from those communities came to me and complained and say, how come we don't get the extra, it was then 10%, but now it's 20% carbon rebate because we live in rural areas. So I pursued that. I brought it to the Liberal Party. I brought it to Chrystia Freeland. I campaigned for it. And guess what? We won it.
2024, what would you say would be your top political highlight of the year gone by?
For me, probably raising the profile of the issues on our highways. I think I've been quite successful in identifying where the problems originate and what we could be doing to solve them. And that I think most people now understand what is going on and what needs to happen to change it.
One highlight from this past year is getting the water legislation to the state that it's in. It is really one of the strongest pieces of legislation that I've had the privilege of working on, and I think largely because it was co-developed with First Nations people. So it really imbues the desires and aspirations of First Nations communities around not just how to make sure that they can access clean water, but how to protect water for generations. And I found working on this bill extremely fulfilling. I think the other highlights are just being able to advocate for Thunder Bay to get the kinds of resources that we need.
We now move out east because at Halifax's Stanfield Airport, a de Havilland Dash 8 aircraft suffered a malfunction during landing. One passenger, Carlos Ronas Fernandez, said it felt like every other landing until there was a loud bang and the plane tilted left. A spokesperson for the airport said both runways were shut down for about 90 minutes during the response. Nova Scotia RCMP stated there were no reported injuries. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada has not specified any exact cause yet, but have sent a team to investigate the incident. Planet Youth Nipissing conducted a survey on over 700 high school students with the goal of learning about teens' overall health, plus any connections with smoking, vaping, or drinking. CTV's Eric Tashner reports.
Survey results show that a quarter of high school students in Nipissing tried alcohol by age 13, and nearly half admitted they usually get it from a family member.
So by better understanding that, we'll know where we need to intervene to promote their well-being.
According to the survey results, teens who often spend time with their parents or caregivers on weekends are less likely to drink, vape, or smoke pot. Breaking down the numbers further, 17% of students report they vape daily, 18% admitted that they were drunk in the last 30 days, and 16% said they used marijuana in the last month. The Centre for Addiction and Mental Health recommends parents talk to their children about substance use.
And you want to approach the conversation, with curiosity and interest in your child's experience, right? So you want to, and a helping mindset. You don't want to go in sort of angry. Your very first priority is their safety.
Results also show that students who participate in sports or other activities and feel connected at school are less inclined to use drugs or drink. Yet only 30% of students feel there are enough activities in their community.
This is the first survey that we're doing in our community, and the survey is going to be repeated every 2 years. So this is going to help us to assess the needs in our community and also to monitor our progress.
The study also finds less than a third of teenage girls report having good mental health, while less than half of boys feel the same way.
A lot of people who are using social media more than 3 hours a day, and a lot of youth are concerned that their physical health isn't where they want it to be.
In the new year, community action teams will be compiling the data and then will come up with an action plan. Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Back here in Thunder Bay, because on Saturday's News Hour, we saw for Lappy Nordic Centre, the rain and milder weather has been wreaking havoc for business. For Loch Lomond, however, the warm weather has not been an issue. Emma Chilton has more.
The warm weather is not slowing down business and hasn't affected the hills very much due to new technology. General Manager Jason Jerry says they were able to stay ahead of the weather by making a year's worth of snow early December before the mild weather hit.
So our modern snowmaking equipment, we've been continuing to reinvest over the last number of years. So the newest pieces that we have weather stations fully built into them. They're fully automated, so they allow you to make snow in marginal temperatures and conditions. They'll turn themselves on and off. They'll rotate with winds and weather patterns. So that makes our capacity to make snow much better because we are able to, harness like technology so that it's always optimized.
The current conditions on the hill are excellent, offering an ideal experience for enthusiasts of all levels to enjoy.
And then the other thing that we have is modern grooming equipment. So we have print-off machines here. Some are fitted with winches so that we're able to actually move snow uphill really efficiently, as well as grooming on steeper terrain. So it allows us to be more consistent and more able to manage snow volumes and place it where we need it so that we continue to keep all of the ski slopes covered. and like consistent thicknesses around the ski area.
It's really fun here, and skiing is very fun.
I'm training with my ski team on the Pine, and we're doing slalom, and it's really fun. Yeah, really, yeah. I've been on the ski team for several years, almost 5 years, so I spend a lot of time here.
For most, the warm weather is welcoming for a day on the hill. Emma Chilton, TBT News.